Hey going guys, and welcome back to yet another video on the HZ Premier. On the last video you would have seen we did a big repair on the front half of the driver's door to make it line up and be a lot more flusher with the guard. We've got a couple of little tiny repairs on the back door to do to try and do the same thing. Once all the repairs are done and finished in 240, I've feathered out all my edges and everything's all looking nice. We're going to jump straight onto the left-hand rear quarter panel and bare metal that, get that in epoxy. While we've got epoxy in the gun, I'm going to go around to all the bare metal areas and repairs that I've done on the car, put them in epoxy so it seals down the pillar. If you're curious, a HS primer is actually porous, very similar to body filler, not as much, but it's still porous. So if you are doing repairs on your car, it is a really good idea to use a epoxy over the top of your filler, and that will seal everything down and stop and prevent a lot of shrink back coming up later on once the car's painted.
Don't know what you want, I need to know. Don't pick up the phone when I try to call. Tell me what is wrong or what is right. What is right? 'Cause now it's too late, too late, too late, too late, now it's too late, too late, now it's too late.
Alrighty guys, just waiting for filler to dry on the back door, and I thought I'd come round and start having a look at this quarter panel. So I sanded a couple of areas on different parts of the quarter panel just to see whether maybe by the random chance that it has been epoxied and it was just the opposite side which has been not epoxied. And I sanded an area up the top here and I hit epoxy. So that's an indication that, okay, look, so there's epoxy up the top. And then I thought, oh, I can't just sand one spot and say, oh yeah, it'll be all right. So I sanded another spot and I hit bog and then bare metal. And it's got a bit of surface rust underneath it too. I don't know if you can see that. My camera's being a bit funny at the moment. But yeah, there's a bit of surface rust here. And I thought, oh, maybe I should sand somewhere else. So I sanded somewhere else, hit bare metal straight away. That's also got some surface rust on it as well, which is a bit of a, well, it's no surprise to me, but anyway, so I sanded a little bit up the back here as well, and we hit bare metal and there's no epoxy there as well. So it's a pretty good indication that, yeah, maybe they just bare metaled from like this line here down and they just put the bog straight over the top. So a bit of a pain, so we will bare metal this whole quarter panel. Now, when I bare metal it, I'm hoping to try and stay away from the pillars if I can. But it all depends on where the epoxy starts and stops. So I thought we'll start bare metaling it and we'll see basically where the epoxy ends or starts, I should say. And yeah, we'll bare metal the rest of the quarter. Alrighty guys, after about 3 or 4 hours of doing repairs, they're all done. So I'm pretty happy with the consistency of the panels, how they align. I've just done a little bit of masking up here. I use 180 grit on an orbital sander and just feathered back a lot of the scratches which was left in there from blocking in lines and stuff like that. Very happy with how the car's looking. I guess what we should do is throw a steel ruler on and have a bit of a look at that. So we've got all nice gaps now. Up in here, all really nice gaps. So I'm pretty stoked with that. All the way down, looks really good. So we'll continue masking. We've got a little bit to mask up around here and mask up the door jambs. The opposite side, the quarter panel has all been like masked up. It's all ready to be epoxied. I'm just going to get some 180 and just all be back this area here. I've already feathered the epoxy and the poly, so that's all nice and smooth. I just got to obviously just scuff up that so we get adhesion with our epoxy. Apart from that, it's all masked up, ready to rumble. So what I've done on this so far is I've just used the what's it called, the Resto finish solvent, and I've just wiped it over it, and then I've wiped it with the steel cleaner. It's over there, the steel cleaner, and I've just mixed up some of the Resto, which is all ready to go in here. So we're going to brush that on once it's all masked up. So I'm just going to get some plastic, cover the whole car up once I do some masking on that side. Yeah, and then cut it all out, and then we'll brush the Resto on. We'll let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we'll go around, we'll scuff a few little areas, and then yeah, wash it off with water and dry it with a dry one. Repeat that process, make sure it's all nice and clean, and then we'll mix up some epoxy. Now, no more spoons. I went and got myself some DNA Paints mixing sticks, and we've got some cups as well. What else did I get? I can't think now. There was something else I bought at the same time. But anyway, so that's it, guys. So we're almost ready. This quarter panel has a better shape in the quarter panel, which is good. We do have the stencils, but yeah, just thought I'd show you that yeah, we've got a much better shape on this quarter panel. But yeah, God, we took some product out of that quarter. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I was blown away by how much bog was on that. It didn't actually need much filler down here. I haven't actually put a ruler on it yet. I'm pretty curious actually to see how straight it is. Bloody, it's not bad. I know the quarter kind of fans out that way anyway, but just an overall look at it. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Look at that. God, that's bloody wicked. So, fingers crossed, it's not going to need much fill up, which is good. So even that looks pretty cool. Really good, really happy with that. Guys, so we've got it all masked up. It's all ready to rock and roll. So the process that we've got here for the metal is basically this rust go. So what you need to do is brush it on. Needs to stay wet for 5 minutes so it can do its thing. So we'll try and keep it away from the primers and stuff like that on the car. But yeah, just a nice even coat. We'll throw that on. We'll wait our 5 minutes. We're going to wash it off with a wet rag with water on it, then dry it with a dry one. Then we'll repeat that process until we've got nice clean rags. And then pretty much we need to wipe it down with the solvent and then the metal cleaner, and then we can epoxy it. So I'm not going to show you literally every single step of the way. I made a dedicated video about how I do it. So if you want to go watch that, then that will tell you exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, with that said, we'll just keep brushing this on. And we'll be right to walk away for 5 minutes. In regards to the bare metal areas, I'm not going to Resto them. They've all been freshly sanded, so all I'm going to use is the metal cleaner over the bare metal areas and wax and grease remover over all the primed areas. no liquids will be going anywhere near the filler. I'm a big believer of that bog is like porous. So when you start putting liquids over the top, the bog will absorb them. We've got a little spot on the bonnet, which I will give a bit of a scuff down with red Scotch-Brite and the Resto, and then wipe it off with water. That's been like that for pretty much all week. So I'd rather just like do that little spot there properly. The rest should be pretty much right because it's only just been sanded. So we've just done the solvent. Now we're going to do the last stage before epoxy, and that is the metal cleaner. Geez, look at me getting all fancy with the mixing sticks, eh? I actually thought I already had a set of these, and that's why we used a spoon in the last epoxy video. Yeah, I felt a little bit embarrassed by using a spoon, but it is what it is. We got the job done, so that's all that matters. So from memory, the ratio for this is, isn't it 3 to 1 or something? I can't remember, 4 to 1. So 4 to 1, and from memory, I put 15% of reducer with it, I think. So we'll give it a stir up, and yeah, we'll mix it up. So being that it's 4 to 1, which stick is it? I think it's the blue one from memory. Yeah, so we've got the 4 to 1 stick. Give this a good stir up. Make sure nothing's on the bottom. All right, so what we might do is grab one of these rags, wipe our stick down. Beauty. We'll pop that there. So 4 to 1 to 15%. So we'll go, what do we got? We've got a full side and a quarter. So we'll go probably the 3. Then hardener. So we'll take this up to the next 3. Like that. And next is the reducer, and we'll take this up to, what are they, in 10s, aren't they? Yeah, so we'll take that up to about there, about 15 to 20%. Beauty. All right, there you go, guys. Just give you a final look at the side. So all our gaps are really nice down. Our lines match up. Our repairs are really good. You can see the lines that I put in. See how they're a lot sharper and they're a little bit more consistent all the way through. So looks pretty good. It almost looks like there's a bit of a low spot just here, but I think that's where I just squirted a bit of paint over it. That's why it looks a little bit different there. I was gonna say, I blocked the hell out of that. There's no way there's a low spot there. Yeah, so apart from that, that's all good to go. So we'll give that a whizzy down in probably 3 to 5 days time. I've noticed that this primer does take a lot longer to flash off and dry and fully cure. The data sheet says 2 days at 25 degrees, but I think it's a little bit longer than that. So anyway, it is what it is. And as you would have seen from the footage before, we've put that in epoxy as well. So I hope you've all enjoyed this video, guys. It may have been a real long one. I've kind of crammed in, what's the time now? It's 5:30. So I've been working since 10 this morning. So a few hours, but I'm happy with how everything looks now. Everything all lines up how it was meant to have been. So in the next video, I was just trying to think of what else to say. In the next video, we will start doing the repairs. So I'll start doing that tomorrow. And we'll start aligning everything up and getting those banana lines on, etc. And yeah, I'm excited to, I just want the car all repaired properly and in a primer, and then I can do my thing and prep it up and paint it. But yeah, it's all right. It's one of those things, sometimes when you take a car on to just sand and paint, of course you're gonna find things to fix on it. To what extent? Well, it all depends on how bad the car is. And on this one, look, it wasn't that bad, honestly. I only had to do a little repair on the front door, a little one on the back one. Yeah, I did spend a bit of time like blocking the primer and stuff like that through the week, which needed to be done anyway. But yeah, repair wise, I wish I'd have known about the condition of the side of the car, and I probably would have just jumped straight onto the sides and started repairing, and I probably, maybe it would have even been in primer already and fully repaired. But anyway, it is what it is. We're making progress. We've only been on the car a week and we've already repaired a full side, bare metal 2 quarter panels and put them in epoxy. So yeah, we're going really good for time. But yeah, I just can't wait to start getting some color on it. But yeah, you guys will see that in an upcoming video. All right, I'll leave the video there. You guys take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.